I work in information technology or information systems, depending how you call it. More specifically, I'm interested in things that take place at the intersection between humans and technology. It's a very broad way of describing information technology, but essentially within that broad domain, I'm interested in three areas. The first one is information systems development. So how people develop systems, whether it's based on the different practices, approaches, tools, methods they use, which is an area that's being currently affected or starting to be affected by the development of artificial intelligence with recent tools that we've seen, such as Copilot or other things that are starting to emerge to help developers do their work. The other area of research I'm interested in is data management and governance. So anything related to data, not so much from the perspective of, what should I say, necessarily computational methods related to data, but how organizations manage the data they have. How do they make sure that it's accessible to be used for artificial intelligence purposes or machine learning purposes or various initiatives that they might have. So not just from a transactional perspective, what they do for their operations, but also from an analytical perspective, how they can leverage data to create value. So again, because it's information technology, it's not purely from a technical standpoint. It's always in the context of generating value, whether it's for a business or an industry or society itself. The last area of research that I'm interested in right now is broadly referred to as digital transformation. So how organizations take advantage of digital technologies to generate new value creation paths, for instance. That could be related to using social media, mobile technologies, again, AI or analytics. And here the phenomenon is really more about the transformation process organizations go through as they try to leverage these technologies, which differs from the way things happened back in the 90s or in the 80s, for instance, where technologies were mostly localized within the organization. The ability to exchange data or to have integrated processes with networks of actors, such as partners, suppliers, and whatnot, were more limited. And we didn't have large trends such as IT consumerization and really disruption taking place with the vast adoption of technologies by the general public. So these would summarize pretty much the main three areas of research I'm interested in right now. One of the first challenges is, like most academics, work is always on our minds. But when I don't have to effectively be hands-on my keyboard and doing research or teaching or any sort of thing like that, one of the things that I like to do is to bake bread. I am French, so bread is important to me. And it's an activity that I find to be relaxing. You can't make it go faster than it needs to go. You have to follow certain rules, and it's difficult to achieve consistency over time. So it's very simple and yet very complicated. And it's an activity that really, the main ingredient you need is time. And you can't make it go faster than it has to go. So it forces you to go at a pace that really is what the process requires rather than the pace you'd like to really go at to be faster. So it forces me to slow down. I have to take the time to do things. It takes 3-4 hours, sometimes 8 or 9. You're not always working on it, but you can work on it a bit, then go back to work a bit, and go back to work on the bread after, and then you get to enjoy the result, which is great.